Erling Haaland, one of the biggest stars in the game right now. Tall, fast, strong, and always scoring goals. That's what people think of when they hear his name. But how did he become such a big player? Was he always this good? Let's go back in time and find out the full story of Erling Haaland. Erling Braut Haaland was born on July 21st, 2000 in Leeds, England. Yes, that's right, not in Norway, but in England. Why? Because his dad, Alfie Haaland, was also a professional footballer who played for Leeds United at the time, so you could say football runs in his blood. Even as a little kid, Haaland loved sports. He played football, of course, but also enjoyed handball, golf, and even track and field. In fact, at just 5 years old, he set a world record for the longest standing jump for his age group. This shows that even as a child, he had amazing strength and power. When he was still young, his family moved back to Norway. That's where his real football journey started. Erling joined his first football club, Bryn FK, in his hometown. At just 15 years old, he made his debut for their senior team. That's not something many kids get to do. People quickly noticed he wasn't a regular teenager. He was stronger, faster, and had a killer instinct for scoring goals. At first, he played as a winger, but soon, coaches saw his potential as a striker, and that changed everything. In 2017, he moved to Molde FK, one of Norway's top clubs. This move was big for him. At Molde, he worked with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the same guy who would later become Manchester United's manager. Solskjaer helped Haaland improve his game, especially in front of goal. In his second season at Molde, he scored 16 goals in 30 matches. People started talking about this young kid with crazy strength and great finishing skills. Haaland's talent couldn't stay hidden for long. In 2019, he joined Red Bull Salzburg in Austria. This was a big step up. Now, he was playing in European competitions like the Champions League. In his very first Champions League season, Haaland scored 8 goals in the group stage.
Borussia Dortmund striker has scored an astonishing 47 times.
Suddenly, every big club in Europe was watching him. But Haaland didn't care about the noise. He just kept doing what he does best, scoring goals. In January 2020, Haaland made another move, this time to Borussia Dortmund in Germany, and what a debut he had. Coming on as a substitute, he scored a hat trick in just 23 minutes.
On his own, he needed just 23 minutes for his first 3.
That's insane. At Dortmund, he continued to impress. In his first full season, he scored 41 goals in 41 games. That's a goal every game. He became known as a goal machine, someone who just can't stop scoring. What makes Haaland special isn't just his goals, it's how he plays. He's tall, about 6'4 inches, but he's also super fast.
He wants it, he gets it, he scores! Haaland scores!
He can outrun defenders, beat goalkeepers with powerful shots, and make clever runs behind the back line.
Inside, Walker, crossing position, on it goes to Alvarez, near the penalty spot. Haaland hits the back of the net! Can you believe it?
And even though he's young, he plays with confidence, like he's been doing this for years.
Looking for Haaland, Haaland's onto it, Haaland into the penalty area, Haaland hits the shot! Oh, I say, Erling Haaland!
In 2022, it finally happened. One of the biggest clubs in the world, Manchester City, signed Haaland. He was now back in England, the country where he was born, but this time as one of the most feared strikers in the world, and he didn't waste any time. In his very first season in the Premier League, Erling Haaland didn't just play well, he completely took over. He broke record after record, scoring an incredible 36 goals in the league, the most anyone has ever scored in a single Premier League season. That alone would have been enough to call it a great year, but he didn't stop there. Haaland also played a huge part in helping Manchester City win 3 major trophies: the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Champions League. That's called a treble, and it's one of the hardest things to achieve in football. People couldn't believe how easily he adapted. The English league is tough, but Haaland made it look easy. He was scoring hat tricks like it was no big deal. Even famous players and managers said they had never seen anything like him.
Haaland! Phenomenal! Week after week after week, who will ever stand in the way?
So what makes Erling Haaland so great? It's not just his size or speed, though those help a lot. It's also his mindset. He trains hard, eats well, and always tries to get better. He watches old matches, studies defenders, and thinks about how to improve. He also has a strong support system. His dad, Alfie, knows what it takes to play at the top level. His whole family helps him stay grounded and focused. Even when he became a superstar, he stayed humble and hungry. Another thing he loves is football. You can see it in the way he celebrates goals, in his interviews, and on the pitch. He's not just playing for money or fame, he truly enjoys the game.
No mistake. Haaland strikes to City lead. You sort of knew what was going to happen.
By the time he turned 23, Erling Haaland had already smashed records that most players only dream about. He became the youngest player to score 20 goals in the Champions League and the fastest to hit 25 goals in the same tournament. In his first Premier League season, he scored a record-breaking 36 goals, more than anyone in a single season. He was also the first Manchester City player to score in his first 4 league games.
But for that motion, it's a natural position.
Here's De Bruyne trying to enter his screen off the underside of the bar, and it's 2-0, and again, 2 minutes for him. But he was never going to get there in time. Haaland scores his 35th goal of the season.
On top of that, he racked up the most hat tricks in one Premier League season, tying with some of the game's biggest legends. Erling Haaland is still young.
It's De Bruyne's cross. It's Haaland! It's 1-0 City, right on the stroke of half-time. That is his meat and drink.
Most players don't hit their prime until they're 27 or 28. That means we haven't even seen the best of him yet. If he stays fit and keeps working hard, he could become one of the greatest strikers in football history. People are already comparing him to legends like Ronaldo, Messi, Lewandowski, and Ibrahimovic. But Haaland doesn't seem too interested in comparisons. He just wants to play football, score goals, and win trophies.
Poor Jack Grealish. Grealish and Haaland! Monstrously good.
Erling Haaland's journey shows us that talent is important, but it's not everything. You also need hard work, good habits, and the right people around you. From a small town in Norway to the biggest stages in football, Haaland made his dream come true. He's not just a player, he's an inspiration for every young kid who loves football. Whether you're playing in the park or dreaming of the Champions League, Haaland's story reminds us that anything is possible if you believe and put in the effort. So next time you watch a match and see Haaland running down the pitch, remember the journey behind those goals. This is more than just a football story. It's the story of a kid who believed in himself, worked hard, and became one of the biggest stars the world has ever seen.